Hey everyone, and welcome to our SPM Chemistry Masterclass. Today, we're tackling a topic that can seem a little tricky, composite materials. But trust me, it doesn't have to be. Over the next few minutes, we're going to completely demystify them and show you exactly how to handle any exam question that comes your way. Let's jump right in. Okay, so before we get into the nitty-gritty of the chemistry, I want to share the #1 tool you need to make sure all this amazing information actually sticks with you. Because let's be real, understanding a topic in a video is one thing, but recalling it when that exam clock is ticking, that's a whole different game. So here's what you're going to do. After we're done here, you need to head over to MCQSPM.com or just scan this handy QR code. The absolute best way to lock in this knowledge is to actively test yourself with real past year questions. Seriously, it's the fastest way to get confident and ready for the real thing. Okay, prep talk over. Let's do some chemistry. All right, so let's get right to the heart of it. What in the world is a composite material? For now, I want you to just forget all those complicated, wordy textbook definitions. Instead, I want you to think of it like a simple recipe, a recipe for making something totally new and way better. So here is the official definition. Basically, we take a matrix substance, you can think of this as our base or our glue, and we mix in a strengthening substance to give it some kind of new power. But here's the most important part. The whole reason we do this, the final material is always better. It's got superior properties. It might be stronger or lighter or more flexible than the original ingredients. We are literally creating a super material. Now, that definition is great, and you should know it for your exam, but what does it actually mean in a way that's easy to remember? Well, let's use an analogy that I'm pretty sure you're going to like. Yep, it's pretty much just like a chocolate chip cookie. Think about it. The dough is our matrix. Its job is to bind everything together into one solid cookie. But let's be honest, on its own, it's kind of boring. The chocolate chips, that's our strengthening substance. They add a brand new amazing property, deliciousness. Separately, they're okay, but when you combine them, you create something way, way better than the sum of its parts. Okay, so now that we've got the basic recipe down, let's look at the specific composite materials you absolutely have to know for your SPM exam. These are the big ones, the ones that show up time and time again. And first up, we have a true giant, the material that literally builds the world around us, reinforced concrete. Every skyscraper, every bridge you see, it's all thanks to this classic composite material. So here's why it's so brilliant. Concrete by itself is amazing when you try to squash it. It has really high compression strength. But if you try to stretch or bend it, it cracks and fails. Steel, on the other hand, is incredible at resisting stretching forces. So what do? We embed steel bars, that's our strengthening substance, inside the concrete matrix. And boom, we get a super material that can handle both being squashed and being stretched. It's the ultimate partnership. All right, next up, fiberglass. This one is famous for being super strong, but also really, really lightweight. You see it everywhere, from motorcycle helmets and boats to the bumpers on cars. For this one, our matrix is plastic. And you know plastic. It's durable, it doesn't rust, but it's not very strong if you try to pull it apart. The magic happens when we mix in tiny glass fibers. These fibers have insane stretching strength. They act like a tiny super strong skeleton inside the plastic, giving the final fiberglass a massive boost in strength while staying light. And because it's still mostly plastic, it doesn't corrode, which is why it's perfect for something like a boat hull. And for our third example, let's look at something a little more high-tech, optical fiber. This is the stuff that makes our high-speed internet possible, carrying data across the world in a flash of light. It's an amazing example of a composite designed for a very specific job. Now this one is really clever because it shows how a matrix can protect the strengthening substance. The core of the cable is made of these super thin glass fibers. They're perfect for transmitting light, but they're also hard and really brittle. They could snap easily. So we encase them in a flexible plastic matrix. That plastic acts like a protective cushion, allowing the whole cable to bend and snake through buildings without breaking the delicate glass inside. It's a perfect team-up. All right, you now get the what and the why behind these materials. So let's switch gears. I want to focus now on pure exam strategy. How do we take this knowledge and turn it into full marks on your paper? Okay, have a look at this. This is a classic past year question. They're asking for something that needs to be both light and strong. So take a second, think about it. Which one of these things needs both of those properties to do its job well? So here's how you break this down like a pro. You have to find all the keywords. The question doesn't just say strong, it says light and strong. A bridge definitely needs to be strong, but it doesn't need to be light. A ceramic cup needs to be hard. A tennis racket is the only thing here that absolutely needs to be both strong to hit the ball and light to swing fast. Focusing on only one keyword is the #1 mistake students make on questions like this. Don't fall into that trap.
Let's try one more. This one is a direct comparison question. It's asking you to explain the specific advantage that the composite reinforced concrete has over its original matrix material, plain old concrete. Why the upgrade for building bridges?
This takes you right back to our properties table. A bridge doesn't just get squashed down by weight, it also bends and stretches. That stretching force is called tension, and we know that's plain concrete's biggest weakness. It would just crack. The steel bars are added for one reason, to give it the superpower it's missing, which is high resistance to tension. And that's the key to your answer. Okay, now for this one, you need to be really careful. This is a classic exam trap. See that big word there, not? The question is asking for the statement that is false. Your brain is automatically trained to look for the right answer, but here you have to find the lie.
So look at this example statement. It says superconductors work without resistance at high temperature. Now, if you're not reading carefully, you see superconductor and no resistance, and you think, yep, that sounds right. But wait, the trick is that word high. The core fact about superconductors is that they only work at extremely low temperatures. That makes this statement false, and therefore it's the correct answer to the not true question. They will always try to catch you with a small detail like this.
So let me give you one of my biggest pieces of exam advice. Every single time you see a question, get your pen and physically circle or underline those keywords not, except, which is true. It takes 1 second, and it forces your brain to slow down and process what the question is really asking. This simple habit will save you so many careless marks.
Okay, let's do a super fast recap. What do you need to know? Composites are a matrix plus a strengthening substance. The whole point is to create a new material with superior properties. You absolutely need to know the details for reinforced concrete, fiberglass, and optical fiber. And your top exam strategy? Read every question slowly and hunt for those keywords. So I'm going to leave you with a little challenge. Now that you're a composite material expert, I want you to look around. What's one super material you see or use every day? Maybe it's in your phone, or the bike you ride, or the chair you're sitting in. When you start spotting the science in your daily life, that's when you know you've really mastered it. Thanks for watching, and go ace that exam.